Today on All Things 80s, collecting toys should not be this difficult. Welcome back to All Things 80s, and back in April of this year I did my first ever toy hunt where I went to this brand new Target store that opened up close by, and whilst the selection there was pretty poor, I did pick up a number of Masters of the Universe Origins items. Now, I still hadn't made up my mind if I wanted to collect this line or not. However, at the weekend there, I did see that Target.com were selling the Rise of Evil 2-pack at retail price. These had been going on eBay for, $60, $70. It retails at 30. So I bought one and it arrived pretty quickly. And upon seeing it, I thought, I'm going to collect this line. So this is where I faced a ton of difficulty. Target.com only had the Skeletor, He-Man, the two cats, and the Prince Adam set available for shipping, plus this, of course. So I then thought, okay, let's go to Amazon. So I went to Amazon, and I've been able to order a ton of them from Amazon, mostly at retail. There were a couple I've had to pay slightly over the odds for. And I should point out as well, it was my mission to get this line of figures without going over retail as far as possible. But I did have to sort of break my rule, and there were a couple of figures I've had to pay slightly more for. Nothing too excessive. Another place I've had to order from is the Big Bad Toy Store, and despite saying I wouldn't, I did end up having to use Entertainment Earth. Now, when I say buying toys should not be this difficult, let me explain the process I've gone through to acquire this line. When I say acquire, I have some of it in hand. A lot of it are pre-orders, and I did make a point of not collecting some of the variants. There's the Beastman, Evelyn, Merman, and I have the standard Hordak. I don't need the deluxe Hordak. So I'm just going for the basic figures, given that it wasn't a line of toys I had as a kid, but it's something as an adult I do like the look of and want to have in my collection. Now, in order to get all the figures that I want, it took me about maybe 2 hours at least. Now, I had 4 or 5 windows open on the computer. I had Amazon.com, Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, and eBay. And I had to go through each different website to see which site had the figure I wanted at the best price. So initially, I just gone straight to Amazon and added them all to my basket. But there were one or two that the prices were rather a lot. For example, there were a couple that were being sold for close to $50, and I'm not prepared to pay that for a $15 figure. Another thing I discovered was, now I didn't know this, as an Amazon Prime member, I assumed they were always offering me the best price, but it turns out that if you're prepared to wait, there are better prices when you click, I think it's see prices from other sellers or words to that effect. So in a number of cases, I saved a ton of money by, you know, delaying the gratification, if you will, whereby a figure that could be delivered the following day for $30 could be had from Amazon next month for $20. So I chose all those options. And at one point, I had the Amazon cart full. I then had the Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth carts fairly full. It was then a case of cross-referencing to see which one had the best price. So I was sitting with the 4 windows opened and my notepad, and I'm crossing off, I'm adding to baskets, I'm taking out of baskets, I'm checking against eBay, and as it turned out, I have one figure coming from eBay because I could not find this figure anywhere close to retail price, and that happened to be Orko for $30. So that was the most I've paid for one figure. Some of the deluxe figures I've managed to get at retail. Clamp Champ, I think, was $20 at Amazon. For some reason, Big Bad Toy Store, I think, are charging 21 or 22 for their deluxe figures, but I can accept that. But the point I'm trying to make is, it shouldn't take someone a couple of hours and a notepad to buy some damn figures. There's no reason why Target or Walmart shouldn't have all the figures all the time at retail. But as we know, it's a scalper's world, and looking at eBay, some of the prices being asked are just absolutely beyond ridiculous. I think in one instance I saw basically every figure that's been released for sale for 2 or 3 grand. It was some ridiculous amount. But in the end, I got there, and despite not having them all in hand, I will eventually, I think by October, I believe, have all the figures I want in my possession without going too much over retail price. Like I said, there were a couple. Off the top of my head, I think Shira I had to pay 25 bucks for, and again Orko for 30 bucks. But those were the two extremes. For the most part, it's within a couple of dollars of retail, and in some cases, Man at Arms I got for less than the 15 bucks from Amazon. So I'm happy in the end, but I'm not happy that it took over 2 hours and a lot of, mental gymnastics going between 4 websites and my notepad. It shouldn't be that hard. And I've always maintained that for the most part, I am a purely vintage collector. But in this instance, I was so enamored by these figures, these ones in particular. I thought, you know what, I got to collect this line, because once I do get my toy room, these figures with their bright, gaudy colours are going to look amazing on display. And given that I was able to do it for the most part pretty close to retail price, I'm pretty happy with that. So, yeah, so all in all, very stressful. And yes, I know this is a first world problem, but it should not be that hard. Now, I need to know in the comments, does anyone know if there are future waves planned for this line? Because I had heard murmurings that Mattel had lost the license and it's due to expire next year or something. I don't know, but there are a lot of classic figures from back in the day that have still not been released, and I would love to get them if they ever do more of the Origins line. So that was my tale of how difficult it was to buy these damn toys. So hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, with special thanks going out to the patrons. Please like, please subscribe, and as always, stay tuned for more videos from All Things 80s.